Greetings, my lord.
I'm here to help. For honor. A sound plan. For honor. Certainly. A sound plan. Of course. A sound plan. Of course. For honor. A sound plan. For honor. A sound plan. For my father, the king. For honor. A sound plan. For honor. Betrayer of the light. Certainly. Justice will come. Of course. A sound plan. Foul name. Justice is coming. Of course. For honor.
Who you want me to kill?
Hello.
Is there danger? Certainly. A sound plan. Of course. For honor. A sound plan. Of course. Certainly. For honor. A sound plan. Justice shall be done. Certainly. Is there danger? For honor. Certainly. A sound plan. Certainly. Of course. A sound plan. Certainly.
Killing spree, double kill.
Allies town.
A sound plan. Foul. For honor. A sound plan. For honor. Of course. For honor. Of course. For honor. A sound plan. Certainly. Of course. Certainly. For honor. Of course. Certainly. For my father and king. A sound.
Welcome to our village.
Justice shall be
Our
done.
allies town needs help.
Of course. A sound plan. Of course. For honor. Foul name. Certainly. A sound plan. Wow. There's danger. Certainly. For honor. I'm here to help. A sound plan. Of course. Justice is come. For my father is here. Certainly.
Allies town needs help.
A sound plan. Of course.
Our allies town needs help.
Dominating.
Certainly.
Hello.
I'm here to help. Of course. A sound plan. Feel my wrath. Betrayer of the light. Certainly. A sound
Our
plan.
allies town needs help.
Certainly. Of course. For Lord Iran. For honor. Of course. For honor. Certainly. Foul. Of course. Certainly. Of course. For honor. Light and strength. Of course. For honor. Of course. A sound plan. Justice shall be done. Certainly. Of course. A sound plan. Stand for the light. Betrayer of the light. You are past redemption. Betrayer of the light.
Our allies town needs help.
Of course. A sound plan.
Our warriors have engaged the
Of course. Certainly.
Killing spree.
Justice is come. A sound plan. For honor. Certainly. A sound plan. Is there danger? Certainly. Of course. For honor. A sound plan.
Our
For honor.
warriors have engaged the enemy.
A sound plan. For honor. A sound plan. Of course. Certainly. A sound plan. Justice shall. For honor. Feel my wrath. For Lord Around. For my father the king. Of course. Certainly. Of course. For honor. Certainly. Of course. I stand for the light.
Where you want me go?
Is there danger? For honor. A sound plan. For honor. Justice is come. Certainly.
Our allies' town needs
Of
help.
course. Certainly. A sound plan. For honor. Certainly. For honor. A sound plan. Certainly. I stand for the light. Of course. A sound plan.
Dominating.
The light is my strength. For honor. Certainly. Of course. Certainly. A sound plan. For honor. Certainly. Of course. A sound plan. Of course. A sound plan. Justice shall be done. Certainly. A sound plan. Found knave. For Lord Around. Certainly.
Mega kill. Who you want me to kill?
Is there danger? Of course. For honor. A sound plan. For honor. Of course. You are past redemption. Betrayer of the light. A sound plan. For honor. Of course. Justice is come. Certainly. Foul knave. Of course. Certainly. Betrayer of the light. For honor. A sound plan. Of course. You are past redemption. Justice has come. A sound plan. Certainly. For honor. Certainly. Of course. For honor. I'm here to help. Of course. For honor. A sound plan. Is there danger?
Die. Nah, get my groove.
sound plan. Certainly. Here to help.
Our warriors have
sound
engaged
plan.
the enemy.
For honor. Certainly. For honor. A sound plan. The light is my strength. Certainly.
Our allies
For
have
honor. Of course. For honor. Foul name. Certainly. A sound plan. For honor.
Our allies' town needs help. Our allies' town needs help.
Certainly.
Yes, me lord.
Justice shall be. For honor. Certainly.
Our allies' town needs help.
Justice is come. For honor.
Our allies' town needs help.
Killing spree. Double kill.
For my father's sake. A sound plan. Certainly. For honor. Certainly. Justice shall be done. For honor. Of course. Foul name. You are past redemption. Betrayal of the light. A sound plan. You are past redemption. Of course. For honor. Of course. A sound plan. For honor. I'm here to help. Of course. Certainly. Justice shall be done. Justice is
Our allies' town needs help.
a sound plan. Certainly. A sound plan. For honor. Certainly. Of course. Certainly. For honor. Certainly. I stand for the light. For honor. A sound plan. Certainly. For honor. You are past. Of course. A sound plan. Certainly. Of course. For Lord Oran.
Okay. Dominating. Double kill. Double kill. Killing spree. Triple kill.
Our allies'
Is there
town
danger?
needs help.
For honor.
Dominated.
For honor. Of course. A sound plan. Certainly. A sound plan. For honor. Certainly. For honor. A sound plan. Of course. A sound plan. Certainly. I stand for the light. Justice shall be done. Betrayer of the light. Of course. Certainly. Justice will come. For honor. Certainly. Feel my
Our
wrath.
allies' town needs
For
help.
honor. A sound plan. Of course. Foul knave. Justice has come. Betrayer of the light. You are past redemption. For my father, the king. Give me something to do!
Hello.
I stand for the light. The light.
Our
For honor.
allies' town needs help.
Certainly. Of course. A sound plan. Certainly. Of course. Certainly. A sound plan.
Our allies' town needs help.
Your life will sustain. For now, I'll play along. Very subtle. That may work.
Your man.
I'll play along.
For honor. A sound plan. For honor. A sound plan. Justice shall be. Is there danger? For honor. Justice shall be done. A sound plan. Certainly.
Killing spree.
Certainly. For honor. Feel my wrath. A sound plan. For honor. A sound plan. Certainly. A sound plan.
Our allies' town
Certain.
needs help.
A sound plan.
Dominating.
Certainly.
Double kill.
Of course. Certainly. For honor. Certainly. For honor. Certainly. A sound plan.
Greetings, my lord.
The light is my strength. Certainly. Justice shall be done. Of course. Certainly. Betrayer of the light. Of course. Justice. For honor. Certainly. For honor. A sound plan. For honor. Certainly. You are past redemption. For honor. Feel my wrath. Of course. Certainly. For honor. Of course. I'm here to help. Is there danger? The light is my strength. Certainly. For honor. Of course. For honor. Of course. Certainly. Father.
Killing spree. Double kill. Kill dominated. Double triple kill. That may work. Mega kill. Ultra kill. And now.
Of course. For honor. A sound plan. Certainly. Of course. Foul. Of course. A sound plan. For honor. Certainly. Of course. For honor. A sound plan. Certainly. A sound plan. For honor. A sound plan. For honor. Here to help.
Wait till you see me in action.
Of course. For honor.
Aye.
I stand for the light. Of course. For honor. A sound plan. A sound plan. Of course. A sound plan. Certainly. Of course. For honor. A sound plan. Certainly. Of course. For honor. Of course.
Unstoppable. Very simple. That may work. For now. Very subtle. Ashna Gimbatu. I'll play along. Die. That may work.
For honor. A sound plan. Certainly. For honor.
Killing spree.
For my father, the king.
Wicked
A
sick.
sound plan. Certainly. For honor. Justice shall be done.
Give me something to do.
I stand for the light. A sound plan. Of course. A sound plan. Of course. A sound plan. For honor. Certainly. A sound plan. For honor. You are past redemption. Certainly. Of course. Certainly. Of course. A sound plan. For honor. Certainly. For honor. A sound plan. For honor. Of course. Certainly. For honor. A sound plan. For honor. A sound plan. Of course. For honor. The light. For my father. A sound plan. For honor. Certainly.
What you want me to do?
I stand for the light. A sound plan. For honor. A sound plan. Of course. For honor. A sound plan. For honor. Of course. Certainly. Of course. You are past redemption. Certainly. Of course. For honor. Certainly.
Very simple. Monster kill! Double kill. That may work. Very subtle. That may work. Holy shit. Triple kill! Double kill.
A sound plan.
Killing spree. Triple kill! Dominating. Ultra kill.